Leighton, how big, how unusual, how important? Break it down for us. How does this tariff meltdown fit in to the sort of history of stock market and finances and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Well, firstly, very big and very important. I heard someone this morning actually say that they've been covering US equities for nearly 4 decades, and it's one of the three most strange or significant times that they recall. So that's very large. I heard another quote that I really enjoyed was that lots of people were saying that it's unprecedented. Um, but for markets, this type of unprecedented is happening so regularly, it seems at the moment, that it's pretty much becoming precedented. So it really depends who you want to listen to on that. But just the scale of it, firstly, we're getting close actually to the market dropping as far as what it did in COVID. So that March 2020 time, which was a really significant, fell off a cliff because the uncertainty was really out the gate around then. And if you think about that, that's when we've got a global pandemic coming. No one knows exactly, how that's going to impact the world. We're shutting borders, and that's the level of uncertainty that these tariffs have introduced to the market. So, first time we've seen trade wars like this since the early 1900s, and there's not many of us, if any, around on the planet that remember that.
Yeah, okay. So unprecedentedness. I'm not sure quite how to pronounce it, but yeah, that's sort of what it sounds like. Now,
Yeah.
Leighton, in terms of the ordinary Kiwi, is there any positive news out of this for the ordinary Kiwi? What positives can we take out of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always surprised by how Kiwis react to this type of thing, and that's no different this time. So I'll just pull this out from the investing side because that's obviously the bit I'm closest to. But we've got right now on Sharesies, for example, we've got record signups, and we've actually seen some of our biggest buying days or trading days in months and months. So people seem to be looking at this as a bit of an opportunity, and that's one thing that uncertainty drives. So whilst we don't really know exactly how low these markets are going to go, in general, there's a lot of optimism around New Zealand and the world that things will get better and we will sort this out, and that companies will end up growing again over time. And I like it. I agree with that confidence, and I like the fact that it seems on the back of KiwiSaver, on the back of a lot of education from businesses like ourselves and others, and then access with much smaller amounts. It seems that New Zealanders generally feel a lot more confident around this, and people are picking their own paths and strategies here, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of panic. So I think that's really positive.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And you're saying that Sharesies is actually showing record signups. People want to get in and take advantage of low markets, buy low, knowing that markets will inevitably return. Is that what you're saying?
Like, I think there's people being very strategic about what they're doing. And I'd say that I could probably put them into four different camps of people. We've definitely got the people with the head in the sand. So that's people who don't want to look, and that's an absolutely fine strategy. That's probably what a lot of people are doing with their KiwiSaver. But the good news for these KiwiSaver investors is those who don't, make jerk reactions to things and end up switching funds, then they are buying the same assets they were buying last month, but at much cheaper prices. So over time, that should do very well for them. So that's the first bucket. The second one is the opportunists. So that's the people coming in and looking for opportunity and buying companies. It tends to be so very large companies who they now perceive to be at a bit of a discount. Then we've got people looking to cover their risk a bit. So we're seeing actually more of a move of people into buying funds and ETFs than what we've seen over the last few months. So that's sort of people looking for that diversification. Gold's come back on our radar a lot. So people buying gold, and that's from that bucket of people. And then we've got our dollar cost averages who are just our auto investors who just stick to it. And every week they put however much money in, $50 or so, and they just keep buying. And they seem to just be rolling with that as well. And, I think surprisingly, we're seeing a huge number of buys at the moment over sells, even though everything in the media and saves stuff is like a little bit sky is falling. So yeah, there's all sorts of behaviors, but by and large, I think a really positive reaction from New Zealanders towards what's happening here, particularly from an investing point of view.
Yeah. So just finally, for the average Kiwi, now is a good time to invest in shares, potentially buy now, so to speak.
Well, what we do know is that the prices for these companies are cheaper than what they were last week and the week before that, and actually for quite some time. And that if we're going to live in a world where businesses are still trying to solve problems and make money is one of the key things they're doing, then one of the things I like to think about is how much energy there is from businesses around the world right now going into work out what these tariffs, if they come to be or if they don't, what that means for them and adjusting their strategy. And I find that a really powerful thought because ultimately we know these companies are going to try to find a way. And if it doesn't, if they don't, then we're in a much different world where it probably doesn't matter how your investment portfolio turns out anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So a good time to invest in shares, Leighton, potentially.
I never like saying it, but I definitely think it was better than last week. And my personal strategy, I fall into that dollar cost averaging camp where I still I enjoy a bit of the theatre of all of this from a market's point of view. I suppose it's pretty complicated at a political and macro level, that's for sure. So I spent a bit of time thinking about that too. But just for investing, for me, it's just staying the course. Yep.
Stay in the course, yeah, or a good time to stay the course. Thank you very much, Leighton Roberts from Sharesies, a very brainy Kiwi. Thanks for your time.